This is the JFJ Conspiracy, where the shop talk is rock.
I'm Jim.
And I'm Frank.
I'm Jerry.
And this is the JFJ Conspiracy Podcast, where the shop talk is rock. Jim, Jerry, how you doing today?
Great.
This is Memorial Day, as represented by Jerry and his American flag. And we're saluting all of our fallen soldiers serving in the military. We all grateful for their great sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So, real quickly on that, I'm not one to barbecue and party and run to the beach on Memorial Day. I take more of a solemn approach to I don't think it's a holiday as such.
No, there's too many people. That's why you're not doing it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
We know.
Not today. It's like 62 and cold at the beach today.
It's still going to be a mess.
It always is. But like
Yeah.
I said, I've read a lot of things of a lot of older veterans, and they're like, let's not forget what it's really about, and everyone's out there. Why say Happy Memorial Day? It's not a happy occasion at all.
Fallen soldiers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it. Fallen
So,
soldiers. Yeah.
Here we are. And
Well, we got to mention one other great thing about today. It's Jerry's birthday.
hey, happy birthday, Jerry.
dude.
Happy birthday, Jerry, man.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're looking
It
good
is.
for 49
It is,
years
folks.
old.
49.
So he's got reason to party today.
Yes.
Yeah. Add about 7 years to that, Frank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
Thank you. I'm
Svelte.
feeling good.
Yeah.
We all graduated together. I'm the same age as you guys. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
49, though. I think it checks in the mail, Frank. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take it.
Yeah. So I want to ask you guys, we've got 3 bands to present today, but I want to ask you, how important is the name of the band to you, whether it be a hard rock, heavy metal, or a pop band? How important is that name? Does it make any determination whether or not you'll even check them out? What do you think, Jim?
It's kind of important, I guess. I think the name should say something about what the type of the band is, right? So when you hear, a name like Judas Priest, you think that's like a heavy metal band. Iron Maiden. Found a great power pop band called the Blow Pops.
Mm-hmm.
And the name, when you hear that name, you think like, oh, sounds like a power pop band, right?
Jerry,
No, I think of the sucker with the gum in the middle when I hear blow pops. Yeah.
off the top
Jerry
of
was
your
my
head,
favorite.
have either of you been disappointed or surprised by a band after you heard that? Because, again, we all bought albums back in the day just on the appearance alone.
Mm-hmm.
But have you ever bought an album and then got home and threw it on there and say, well, this isn't what I expected?
Gosh, I'm not sure.
Good one. Because the recognition is first. You buy it because you heard a song off it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Very good one, Frank.
There's bands that I probably heard that the visuals and the name and everything all fit the style of the music, but they were just terrible.
Mm-hmm. That happens, yeah. Yeah.
All the great packaging didn't save just a bad product.
Right. There's one band that comes to mind that I was a fan of off of one song, and I went out and I bought the album, and the rest of the album fit their name. Yeah. And the one song was a hard rocker, and the rest of it was just power pop, and I was disappointed. But that band was Chilliwack. And they were...
I was surprised to find out you were a fan.
Yes.
Or a
Yeah.
semi-fan.
I was
whatever.
a fan. I bought a couple of their albums thinking, hey, these guys, they did good pop songs. But the one song, Don't It Make You Feel Good, is just a heavy, good riff-laden song. And that's what the reason why I bought the album. And it was disappointing from that song on.
Oh.
So, but
there's probably been a few bands that you hear the single, and the single is terrible, and then you find out the rest of the album is, the single's kind of wimpy, and then the rest of the album rocks hard.
Right.
I was surprised. Sugar Ray, who I was never really a fan of, their singles and everything else were always pretty light, and then I remember somebody telling me if you listen to the record of the album, it's pretty hard rock.
Yeah.
And I remember hearing a couple other songs, and I was surprised it was them. To me, it didn't sound anything like the single. So,
All right. What were you gonna say, Jerry?
I don't know if this counts, but I bought the Oasis album, whatever album it was called. I used to know it. Had Champagne Supernova on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll know that album in a second. Anyway, but I bought that album solely on the single.
Right.
And I don't think I listened to any other song on it. It doesn't really count, but I'm trying to contribute here, folks.
They,
Yeah.
they, I
love that song. Oh,
they were compared to the Beatles for some of their songs. I never got it. I mean, they had harmonies.
Yep.
Noel and Ian Gallagher, but I didn't.
And they had a drummer and a bass and a guitar player and a singer.
Exactly.
But other than that, the Beatles, what the hell?
Oh, they were huge for a minute, and then
they were about a minute
for a cool minute. Yeah. Not a bad band.
No,
I don't know that they're the Beatles,
no.
but
no.
Well, there's another band. They can't even be in the same room together. Brothers fighting, kind of, They went their own ways, and they're never going to play together again.
Right? Have we heard anything since?
Nah. So, but just curious how you guys felt, and the reason I brought that up is this week's Jerry's pick, as a matter of fact, is a band whose name is kind of common, and I know you got a little bit of a rant about that, but why don't you tell us about your band, Jerry?
What, the new band or the album pick, the classic?
No, the new band.
The new band, folks, I have to start this off by saying the name of the band is Ravens. There's a million bands out there called the Ravens. So to find the band we're talking about from Chicago, if you go to Facebook, they're at band-ravens. You'll find them on Facebook. Their website is ravens-music.com, and it'll turn you on to iTunes, Bandcamp, Amazon, Spotify, YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in Ravens, you'll get the Baltimore Ravens. You'll get Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. You'll get Raven on whatever. There's tons of bands called Ravens. So folks, ravens-music.com. Ravens-music.com. Okay, now that I've said that and made that clear. Band names do make a lot of difference, Frank. There's a ton of them named Ravens. But these two cats, we got Eric Liljehorn and DJ Nelson, guitar. And these two cats met at a King's X concert in Chicago and just started talking. And they realized they had a vibe with each other. And so they made a song called Ravens.
Yep.
The band wasn't even called that yet, folks. They just made a song called Ravens, and it did pretty good. And so they needed to assemble a band. So that's where they picked up Mike Stryker on bass and Chris Hagen on drums. And it's good rock and roll. Their own bio states described as King's X, Audio Slave, White Zombie, and Korn, which is pretty accurate. But it reminds me of them, but they have their own little thing. They have the melodic guitar I love. And plus, DJ Nelson plays a flying V, and he's left-handed. So that just looks great on the videos. But, they met in December 17. So they only have a 2-song EP out called the song with song Ravens on it and Knocked Down, which is a good video also. They have a radio edit and a edit that says the E on it for explicit. But this is just good old-fashioned rock and roll. Again, folks, I've stated this before. I love this podcast because you think there's no more rock and roll out there, folks. There's still, it's kind of boring. And these guys just kick some major ass. And it's really good. So, Ravens.
All right. Let's give them a listen.
Yeah, Ravens.
Ravens. that's Ravens with Ravens. There you go.
Ravens-music.com from Chicago.
Yeah, look
Sorry.
for them. Yes. You know, love the song. Of course, we'd want to play more. That's kind of the problem when you have a song that has a minute intro before the vocals kick in. Is
Right.
You really can't get into the whole groove of the song because it was starting to kick in.
Yes, it
And
was.
So if you like that, go to Bandcamp, iTunes, wherever their music is available, and check it out. And support these local guys in Chicago. Good stuff.
They have a wonderful song, too. Also, they released a 2-song EP called Knocked Down. Great tune. Ravens-music.com, folks. Ravens out of Chicago.
All right.
There.
I don't know any of the bands named Ravens, but I bet they're out there.
Oh, there were so many folks. Oh, that's why I had to cover that. Yeah.
Well, I know on Bandcamp there's the Ravens and the Raven's Nest and the Raven's Claw. And
Raven Billy, Raven Claw, Raven Dinosaur, Raven Mad, Raven Lunatic, Ravens. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Ravens-music.com from Chicago.
The Rave Ups.
Yeah.
Rave Ups, Rave Downs.
And I bet if you check the copyright office, somebody's already got that.
Somebody's working overtime. Yeah.
Well,
good music.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Great tone. Very
Fat
well
bass.
recorded. Sounds very modern.
Mm-hmm.
It would fit right on the radio on a couple of different formats.
Yep.
Hats off to them, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good
Great, great tone.
Brand new. Them two cats met in 2017, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, brand new.
That's good. All right, Ravens.
Wow. So here's a little side story to that, the whole name thing. Ages ago, there was a big band out of L.A. called Warrant. I don't know if you guys remember hearing those.
Yes,
Anyway, we went to go see them at the country club one night just to see what all the hubbub was about. And this was right before their first album was going to be released. They had already been signed, and I think the album was already in the can or whatever.
Wow.
So we went to go see them, and the opening band was a band called Death Row, formerly known as Skid Row.
That's some.
And shortly after that, the first Skid Row album dropped. So I'm assuming that somebody with Skid Row's. I think they were on Atlantic or something.
Right.
Sorry, somebody from Atlantic probably got a hold of them and said, "Hey, you can no longer use the name Skid Row." It's kind of like whoever, we live in a different time now, so we're not dealing with record companies like that. So nobody's got a lawyer to go out and find all the bands called Raven and tell them to cease and desist, right? But
there's tons, folks. It's mind blowing.
Back in the day, I was a fan of a band called Green Jelly, and initially their name was Green Jello.
Jello,
and they were kind of like Guar, that type of band,
right?
And, they were very theatric and heavy metal. They were just funny to watch. Anyways,
humorous.
Was it Best Foods or whatever? Whoever makes Jello decided that they were getting a little too big for their britches, so they sued them.
Yeah,
and made them change their name after their album was out. And I have a CD that still says Green Jello, but after that they were named Green Jelly from here on out. They still play here once in a while, but gotta know what you're doing before you get involved.
Isn't that terrible?
Yeah, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a band in Rhode Island with that name. They're playing to 80 people,
right?
But they have a copyright on their name. You'll have to change it.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of a great way to get some press.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
There was a band in L.A. called I'm trying to think what they ended up changing their name to. They were originally called Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
And Mattel came out and threatened legal action, but it gets you some press, right? Like local
change their
band
name
Barbie.
To Hot Wheels.
Well, it's ironic that you say
they were
that.
going to change. He said in the interview we'd change our name to Masters of the Universe, and we're going to go back and sue Mattel or something like that.
It's funny you say that because I have a new CD coming out. Check it out. It's called Van Halen. So, anyways,
that sounds fresh and new.
Yeah, it is very fresh and new.
I never heard that.
Yes.
Is that like Van Gogh?
Yes.
It's Dutch.
There you go.
Moving ahead,
I love it.
you wanna talk about your band there, Jim?
Sure. Okay, so the band I have this week is a group called the Well Wishers, and I say group very loosely. It's a one-man guy.
All right, my favorite kind.
Yep, a guy named Jeff Shelton.
I wish him well.
Wish him well. Yeah. So he does it all, does everything. It's been a solo project for him since '03, and he writes professionally. He's written for music for television and movies and things like that, and originally fronted a power pop band out of San Francisco called the Spinning Jennies, which he did from '93 to '04.
That's
And has been doing the Well Wishers, since '03. He'll occasionally bring somebody in to help him out on stuff, but mostly it's just him. He does it all: guitar, bass, drums, vocals, whole 9 yards.
All right.
And I found him on Bandcamp. I was can't remember now what I was searching. We've been off for a few weeks, and I actually found him previous to our last podcast.
Right.
It just took him a while to get back to me, so I don't remember what I was searching out, but I came across this song and thought it was a great tune. Very very upbeat, poppy, great songcraft, and so this song's called "Feeling Fine."
Feeling fine. Let's check it out.
Everybody's having a good time. Everybody gets what they deserve. Being a part of the crime is essential. Stop wasting time just to fake your potential. Everybody's doing the right thing. Everybody gets a party prize. 'Cause I'm feeling fine. Feeling fine. Old enough to dance, but not too long.
That's the Well Wishers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim.
One man.
Well
band.
done.
Yes, very much so.
Extremely catchy,
Yes.
lyrically astute, I think. Kind of a social commentary there, talking about, everybody gets a party prize nowadays, right?
Participating.
Yep.
Yeah, B side of that is a cover of Fleetwood Mac's Secondhand News, which he does a
Ooh,
admirable
I like
job
that
of.
tune.
Nice.
So no, I didn't see any vinyl available though. So you buy the track. I think you get both tracks. But
And do you recall where he's from?
San Francisco,
San Francisco. All right. Well,
I like it.
Bay Area. I don't know if he's San Francisco proper now, but
right.
anyway, up that way.
Up north.
North to Alaska.
Very good. And the band name, and I say band, is the Well Wishers. Check it out.
Good stuff.
Seems that it seems like we come across a lot of people where it's like one guy, but they have like a band name.
Yeah. Well,
And,
that's
Well, he wishes he had more bandmates. Is probably why
be.
they're
Could
called
be.
that.
that's what he's wishing for. I noticed I had actually on Bandcamp checked some of the music out because of the album cover that we'll show when we play the music from the Park Bench
Right.
quite comical, and that's what caught my eye. And I do a lot of, when I'm searching for bands and everything, if they've got decent artwork or something that doesn't look like their
brings
little
you in.
sister
Yeah.
colored it with a crayon, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I was
unless I'm in the
actually
punk
gonna-
genre, you know.
I was actually going to mention the cover is
Yeah.
pretty funny, but people will see it on the podcast.
Right,
so.
and we'll put it on Facebook on our page and everything. So definitely check it out. Well, moving
Good
forward,
stuff, Jim.
yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I've got another. This was a band. I think it's a solo act now. I've got to get straight scoop from Drew. His name is Drew Cobb, and he goes. Stage name is Drew Blood, and
No wonder I couldn't find him.
well, I have a feeling the band name was Hollywood High at one time, or it was Dirty Pictures. I'm not 100% sure because when you search for him, his name comes up and it says, here's Hollywood High by Drew Cobb. And when I listened to it, I immediately thought of the band NoFX. And you guys, if you're familiar with the vocalist from NoFX, tell me
Yes.
if this doesn't ring a bell to you. But this is a band out of Los Angeles, and the story with them was back when MySpace was a thing. These guys came out with this. They were in L.A. playing clubs and whatnot, and made this album and had a CD made. And MySpace kind of disappeared overnight, as did, I think, their, will to be a band. So I think Drew's kind of held on to this for a while, and he just wanted to use Bandcamp as the main contact information for him. So check out Drew Cobb on Bandcamp, and you'll see Hollywood High, and there's a few other treats on there as well. But the story I was telling you guys before we started is he sent me a CD, and the band put together this great package. I'm going to see if you can see the on screen here. This is the album cover. It's a pinup girl.
Oh, I remember her.
Yes, and the CD itself is the booby edition, and basically it has a spinning wheel.
I like boobs.
Yeah, well, most people do, but
Yeah.
you spin the wheel and you get a different bikini top or not, and different styles and whatnot. And they had this
Found it, Frank.
whole CD made up, and the band kind of, I guess, imploded at that part. And so he said it was nice enough to send me a copy of it. But I've got a little video to show after of when they first got the CD. I guess he was pretty excited about it, as any new artist would be about getting a release.
Sure.
And, so now it's available. The digital copies are available on Bandcamp. But the band itself, Drew Blood, on guitars and harmonica. It's kind of a rockabilly rock sound. Johnny Underpants is playing bass and vocals. Paul E. Tone on guitars and vocals, and Ryan Yeardon is playing drums. So this was produced by Michael Kramer, Michael Cerna, and Dirty Pictures. It was recorded at Stealth Studio, Rounds Valley Studio, Wolf Tone Studios, and Big Wolf Studios. And it was mastered by Dave Collins. And here's some catchy little music from Drew Cobb, and it's called Less of a Loser.
I'm sure. Like, what a loser.
My mama told me yesterday, said, get a job, you're wasting it away. Get off the couch, turn off the TV set. But I never hear her, I never listen to a word she says now. There's something about me that she just doesn't get. I may be a loser, it's kind of a loser, baby. Yeah, I'm kind of a loser, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A bit of a loser, he's a bit of a loser, baby. But I'm less of a loser than you. I take the bus to grandma's house 'cause I ain't got no car. Free lunch and a rate her purse while she works out in the yard.
Okay, I'll cut that off there.
Love it. Love it.
That's some catchy music from Drew Cobb,
Yeah.
Hollywood High, and the album Dirty Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Or the album's called Dirty Pictures, and the band's Hollywood High. I'll get a clarification from him. One of the last things I didn't do from the last email we had, but super nice guy. Got back to me. Like I said, send me the CD, and good music. The whole thing's got good catchy tunes on it. And,
Yeah, very.
but I can't help but think of NoFX. I'm sorry. That was my only, and that's not a dig. That's actually, for me, it's a compliment because I was a NoFX fan from back in the day.
Who isn't?
Yeah.
I like NoFX. Yeah, it kind of went back and forth between NoFX and a little Green Day vibe there, a little Billy Joe Armstrong. But I dug that. I'm always intrigued by these bands who will write humorous songs, and that's kind of the point. I don't know what the rest of the CD is like, but I get the feeling that it's kind of along that vein.
Well, let me give you a name.
Especially with the names of the people in the band. When you have people like Drew Blood and
No, Johnny Underpants takes the cake.
Polytone.
Oh, you kidding?
I think their big song was a different kind of tickle, and there's some other ones. A song called Wactress, and Too Broke to Pay Attention.
Been there.
Try to Be a Man.
Still trying.
Can't Get the Stuff, which was 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Sounds like that's probably a good punk song. I haven't got a chance to hear it.
For Jim especially, it's under 3 minutes. Oh, heck yeah.
And anybody that's got a song about Palmdale, that's the name of the song, I'm sure they've got a lot of tongue-in-cheek jumping off there.
Yeah.
But see, there's a fine line, Jim, between, I say, tongue-in-cheek and just Weird Al. Because at a certain point,
Weird Al made a whole thing out of parodies, right?
Yes.
So, but he also has original songs he always mixes in kind of into the albums, and they're generally very humorous.
And I'm a big fan of Big Al. I'll say that, but that is a genre that you don't listen to it every day. It's a once in a while you throw in.
I got to be in the mood for it. Yeah. Then it's great.
Yeah. I think of like a Bowling for Soup or whatever.
But these guys I can listen to. I can throw this in my rotation. I like
absolutely
the faster paced tunes. I like the sound. The production was awesome. It's good fun music the way I look at it.
Great energy.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely great energy.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
So check it out, Drew Cobb. You'll find him as Drew Cobb, and you'll also find it under Bandcamp. Music is available. He said it's hidden somewhere in iTunes. Probably because it's either Hollywood High or Dirty Pictures. But he's using Bandcamp as his main platform now. So look up Drew, Drew, Cobb, Cobb, and check him out. Check out some of the other music as well. So those are our three picks for this episode. Good stuff, guys. I like what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah. I think, kind of diverse.
Yes.
They've been diverse last few podcasts.
Yeah,
that's what I love about us three. You guys are so much more. You guys are more on the musician side, I should say, and I'm more of on the side of no, I don't like that. Well, yes, I like that.
That's good enough.
Isn't it though?
Yeah.
Anybody
like it or you
this
don't.
podcast with you two guys, I love it, and I love you guys. That's what I love about this show, guys.
Anybody can be a music critic.
That's it.
Yeah.
And many people are.
Yeah,
that's right. We got 3 of them on our show alone.
3 of them right here.
Yep. So we have our classic album, and it's been a while. I listened to most of it a while ago, and then like I said, we took our little hiatus, and I had to pop it back in and check it out. But Jerry, you made this pick. Let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit.
Here's the story, folks. We all know when Foreigner came out, the big deal. It was three Americans, 3 Brits. They come out with Foreigner debut, which kicked ass. They come out with Double Vision, which kicked ass. They come out with Head Games about 79. And I liked Head Games, but listening wise, people, that album's a little, it wasn't a dud. To me, I love Head Games. It's way more raw and way more, raw than the first 2. Well, then they clean some house and they get rid of, a couple of the Brits. They hire a new bass player who is, thank you, Jim, Rick Wills.
Mm-hmm.
Not Pete Willis from Def Leppard.
No.
Thank you, Jim, for that correction. Rick Wills.
Yep.
So they strip it down. There used to be 6 members. They strip it down to 4 members, get a new bass player, and they come out with Foreigner 4. June, July, 81. So we just graduated high school, folks. And I swear I heard every song on the radio. And I can't think of another album like that unless you go Beatles Greatest Hits or whatever. But I've heard every tune on the radio at that time, 81, 82. And I love it. I love Foreigner 4. It's just, as much as I love their previous 3, for some reason this is different. Maybe it's because they did strip down to 4 guys, But Mick Jones still is the riff master on power chords. Lou Gramm voice, fantastic. Everybody knows that. Dennis Elliott, original drummer, still there. Rick Wills, debut. Mm-hmm. And I wore Foreigner 4 out. I can't remember if it was a cassette or 8-track, folks, out there in conspiracy land, but I wore it out. And like Frank said, you get a chance to revisit it and you forget how really good and of course, Urgent with the saxophone solo by Junior Walker. Nobody's going to forget that. Right. But to me, Foreigner 4 just, they were kind of sliding, and then they come out with this and they just reestablished, no, we're Foreigner. We got it together. We're good. And I love Foreigner 4, guys. I love it. I love this album.
With this album, when it came out, they were headlining stadium tours at this point. Mm-hmm. I know, like we talked before about the Summer Strut. Mm-hmm. You had, and that was
Cal
just
Jam.
one stop. Yeah.
Cal Jam,
when I think, and I could be wrong, there's probably been a lot of other power ballads that came out and took the world by storm, but Waiting for a Girl Like You, when that song came out, it brought a lot of the girls into the mix with Foreigner too. Because you figure back in the day, you went to a concert, you didn't see a lot of girls at concerts.
Nope.
And if you did, you didn't want to look at them because they were hard.
Easy, Frank.
Unless it was a Journey concert.
Well, no. Yeah, I mean hard rock. Let's go hard rock. Journey is a pop rock band. They're not a hard rock band. But,
True.
No.
But Foreigner fits in that pop rock thing. But they were playing some harder music. They played their first couple albums. They had some hard rocking tunes, but Absolutely. They really went to a different direction with Foreigner 4, and they brought in a whole nother audience at that point.
Yeah, and stripped it down. And if I may interject here, since they got rid of their keyboard player, I think it was Ian McDonald, I want to say, I'm not sure, but guess who played keyboard on this album? Thomas Dolby.
Yeah.
And so he got enough coin from doing this to release his old album. Everybody knows Blinded Me with Science. Everybody knows that. But it just some little twerks here. And of course, guess who produced it? Robert John Mutt Lang.
Mutt Lang. He had his
so
hand
maybe
on everything.
That's everything heavy, everything rocky.
Yeah.
He was the man at that point.
Yes, he was, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, every song is written by Mick Jones and Lou Gramm. Every song. So they took over and wanted to make sure it went to that direction. It was all
That's
theirs.
why they wanted to clean house. Yeah. That's
so they get the kudos. They get the kudos, but they also get the blame.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Well, it's the beginning of the end. I mean, it's.
Agent Provocateur was no slouch.
You know, it's funny.
According to me.
According to you. And I want to touch on one song. You keep on telling us about Luann. I listened to it. I swear to God, I never heard that song unless it was on the album. I never heard it on the radio.
Really?
Yeah.
I've
and it didn't chart very well.
Yeah.
I took notes on every song.
Uh-huh.
And when it got to Luann, I didn't write anything down. I don't recall hearing it.
Yeah.
You don't like that breakdown where he's singing, they get into the verse and that just Mick Jones guitar in the background?
Yeah, wasn't too into it, man.
That's fine.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what song that I did not remember, that as soon as I heard it, I remember, was Nightlife.
Mm-hmm.
Which I believe is the opening track.
Yes, it is.
And I was like, oh, I totally remember this song.
Yeah.
And
it was a good revisit to me.
It was a good rockin' song. Lyrics are a little goofy, but it was okay. There's a couple songs on the album that I kind of liked.
Mm-hmm. Well, for the time, you can't say you didn't listen to and hum along the Jukebox Hero when it came out.
Great lyrics too.
I can say I didn't.
You didn't like it at all.
Shut up, Jim.
No,
No.
didn't like it when it came out.
Oh,
It came on the radio. I was switching for another channel.
Yeah.
Jukebox Hero.
See,
with
now
that
I feel
bass?
that way kind of with Urgent. I wasn't a, you know,
Same
it was
here,
a
Frank.
huge fan,
Uh,
huge song. Wasn't a huge fan of the song.
The only song that I hated more than Jukebox Hero was Urgent, because it sounded to me like just pandering to the sort of sound that was popular at that time.
Well, that whole
Now
album
with the
that
sax solo.
kind of went a
Now with
little.
the sax solo.
I couldn't get to the sax solo.
That's your problem.
It's not like I've never heard the song, Jerry.
I know.
I had to hear it that one time to decide that I hated it enough to never listen to it again.
Yeah.
Not a fan of, and actually the songs I like.
I could play this all the way through all day.
Yeah.
And Jukebox Hero was huge, and so was Urgent. Huge
Yeah,
hits.
Urgent was huge.
Yeah.
Huge was the number one song.
Yeah.
I'm less a fan of the singles off the record.
Yeah.
I'm more a fan of the other stuff that's on there.
Women in Black, that lead riff. Oh,
Let's see. What are
Break It Up?
One word I wrote
Break It
down
Up?
for Women in Black. Nope.
Nope.
Nope. Yeah.
No, what was the album before this one?
Head Game.
Head
Head
Games.
They
I've got
still
that
had the
on
original
vinyl.
6. Yeah.
I've got that on vinyl, and I could
I like
tell you,
I like the title track.
yeah, the title
Same
track
here.
for sure.
I like Even With You. That's my favorite. Off of that
I like
too.
Even With You.
Yeah.
Good song.
I'd have to break it out and look at all the songs on it. I haven't seen it in quite a while, but
Same
I know
here. Been a bit.
that one I've got on vinyl, and I think the one before that I might, but I
That
didn't,
would be
didn't
Double
buy
Vision
this
was
one.
For that. Everybody
Yeah,
has
Double
that.
Vision. It seemed like that was almost a mandatory album at one point for a lot of folks.
To me, that's better. It borders on. It's one of those few albums that their sophomore effort it borders on being better than the debut.
It's like they knew what they were doing and
It's
found their
at
groove.
least as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
It's
at least. I
as
mean,
good.
Double Vision I can listen to all the way through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where did the song land or the album land overall? Do you know on the charts? Because it was.
I think I want to say it was their biggest selling. I
Oh
had
my
the numbers
gosh.
earlier.
Well, I was reading that initially it was going to be called Silent Partners, and then for some reason or another they changed it probably after kicking the other two out of the band and stuff.
Right.
It was their
Now
fourth
we've
album.
only got 4 people left, folks.
Yeah.
So why don't we call our album Fun 4?
I would
Because
not
it's actually our fourth one.
Yeah.
held the number one position on the Billboard album chart
Go,
for a
Jim.
total of 10 weeks.
10 weeks. Okay.
Hey.
Eventually sold over 7 million copies just in the U.S.
Okay.
Woo.
I was going to say it had to go number one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Waiting for a Girl Like You was
And
just
Urgent. Yeah, Urgent.
massive.
It's
Yeah.
on every station. AM, FM.
Well, they were at the top of their game, I know, touring wise. It seems like at that point because they were everywhere. They were just
Oh.
they were everywhere. So good album, good band. I don't know what they're doing nowadays. I know they replaced Lou Gramm for a while. He stepped down. Right?
Kelly Hansen. They had a replacement before, and that went a little bit, and then now they have Kelly Hansen. They've had him for a while, and no slouch, folks. No slouch.
Hansen.
Kelly Hansen, great singer.
Yeah,
Yes,
Absolutely
yes.
great singer.
Yes, Jim. Yes, Jim. Yep. Mm-hmm.
cool.
I know him from Hurricane, but I think he's been in a couple other
Could
couple
be.
other bands. I think Jeff Pilson was playing bass.
Okay.
Pilson's your
And
boy. He
Foreigner.
from where? Pilson was in somewhere else first, Jim. I can't.
He played in Dokken, didn't he? For a while.
Dawkins.
Dawkins. Thank
Mhm.
you, Dawkins. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No slouch either.
As we're sitting there thinking about it, the people that are listening, going Dokken, goddamn Dokken, I got it, Dokken.
I know. Well, you look like you were going to say it, so I didn't
Yeah.
want to step on you. So I was waiting for you to say Dawkins, but I was all like, Frank's not going to speak up. So
No,
I, guess
I was waiting.
Since when?
Okay. It's kinder, gentler
He
place, you
didn't
know.
speak up because he has his boat and he was docking it.
There you go. Rocking with Dawkins,
Rocking
baby.
with Dokken. Wow. And you know they are playing here at Montclair at the Canyon.
The canyon thing? The
Yeah,
canyon thingy?
I gotta go. This last weekend, Puddles and his pity party was playing there. I want to go see him.
Did you go?
No, I mean it was
Oh,
a
the clown guy.
clown. That guy's got such a good voice.
He does.
Yeah.
I saw that. Oh,
But he's got his whole concert where he's got a whole band that plays behind him, vocals and everything. And we were gonna go, and then we're not. And then that's the worst thing. If I don't buy the tickets and have them in hand, we don't go. we talk about it, and then we don't go. Same thing with
Yeah.
Great White. I was talking about going to Jack Russell's Great White. I was all set. I don't know how many times I got online, had the tickets reserved, and
Didn't do
Yeah.
it.
Didn't
Vince
do
Neil. Vince Neil opened it up. I think Vince Neil. I mean,
Yeah,
not
he
that
was-
show, but I
yeah, he
mean
was
the Canyon.
yeah.
Yeah.
I know Lita Ford's going to be there.
Lita Ford just played.
Oh, she did play.
There you go.
I was gonna
Right.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was last weekend, and
What
I
happened,
ended up
Jim?
having other. I had like a
Plywood issues.
plywood issues. I had a fundraiser going for my daughter that night, and so
Oh, bless her
just
heart. Bless
You
her
know-
wasn't gonna happen. So
As I'm getting older, I'm full of woulda, coulda, and shoulda, and I need to just
Same here.
pull the trigger and go.
pull the
you know?
trigger, right?
Yeah, but
Pull the trigger.
oh well. So the next pick belongs to Jim for the next classic album that we're going to review.
Are we done with Are we done with
No,
Foreigner then?
you're not, Jim. Go ahead. What's up?
Oh no, that's cool.
I'm done. If you have anything else, let it go.
He's got
I-
something on his mind, Frank. I can
so
tell. That's Jim from way back. He's got something he got to say. Say
I
it.
will say this. So Foreigner 4, does it hold up? Better than I remembered it.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad thing.
Better than I remembered it. I think a lot of that had to do with Mutt Lange's production.
Would you buy it 180 gram?
No. No, I have a copy or two on vinyl.
I have it all
that
on. Yeah, I have it all
bought
digitally.
it-
So
Yeah.
Bought it
I
out of
wouldn't-
the budget bin for a couple bucks.
Yep.
And what was my I'm trying to think what my favorite song was. Break It Up.
good too.
Yeah, mine too.
Sounds like it could have come right off the first two Foreigner
Yeah.
albums.
Yeah, I prefer that over the major hits on that album.
Yeah, Urgent. I could just due to pure overplay.
Well,
My least favorite would probably be Urgent.
for
It's
me,
funny,
it's Waiting for a
I-
Girl Like You. I don't like the ballads that much anyway, so.
Yeah, but
Um,
you know, it helped us out back in the day, Frank. You know, she'll never go out with me.
Not a
Oh,
song.
I'll play this tune for her.
Not a song I would have wanted to hear again, particularly. But when I was listening to the record and it came on, I found that I wasn't particularly offended by it.
Right.
No,
And that was my problem with a lot of the album. It was
Great
just it
keyboard.
was
Just
so
there.
middle of the road. It
Yeah.
was just there. It wasn't didn't command my attention, but it didn't make me want to break things either.
Right.
So it was just except for Urgent, which I couldn't bring myself to listen to.
yeah, that's a little long in the tooth. Yeah, that's.
Well, we've heard those songs so many times.
Oh,
I
just
had
love,
it.
love
I had
Mick
it-
Jones riff.
Mick Jones is great.
He is.
Fat
And-
chords.
Great guitar.
And I will say this, Lou Gramm,
Mhm.
one of the really, really great rock and roll voices.
Mm-hmm.
If
I mean, just that guy's he's so good.
if I could, just for a second.
So good.
I remember back in about the time this album came out, Regis Philbin's on whatever that show he was, Good Morning America, or
Yeah.
whatever it was. Him and
Yeah.
before Kelly, it was Kathy Lee,
Yeah,
Regis and
yeah.
Kathy Lee or whatever, and
Remember
they had
Sarah
Foreigner
Purcell?
on there, and
Oh, they did.
yeah, Lou Gramm went out there and he sang "Waiting for a Girl Like You" at basically back there it's 5:30 in the morning, and he nailed it. And I remember even Regis was like, for you to come on and not even be warmed up,
Got to
and
look
you
it up.
to play that song and you nailed it. He says that is impressive.
Yeah.
The guy had the chops.
Touche. Yeah.
Well, you can't
did.
fault the chops of anybody in that band. I mean, just
Nope.
they were all very great musicians.
Yep.
Yes.
Great level of musicianship.
Yep.
Very good. Anything else?
It's played out. I wouldn't
Yeah,
go out.
we're done with Foreigner 4.
All right. Well, like I tried to say earlier, Jim, you get the next pick for our class.
James, old boy.
Oh, are we done with Foreigner now?
Yeah, let me ask. You got anything else you want to say?
You're the one that extended it, Jim. Me and Frank were done.
Okay. So, album that was a complete game changer for me.
Ah,
Judas Priest, British Steel.
British. All right.
Yes,
I love that
Jim.
album. Okay. Very good. Did you buy into the 30th anniversary edition that had the razor blade with the blood dripping down on it with a hand?
No.
Ah,
Original only. I bet that's the only Priest album I had, Jim. Great pick.
yeah.
Your Steel. Yep.
Yep, that's a good one.
What did they do for the 30th anniversary?
It was all remastered, of course, and there was 3 or 4 songs that were live that were added to it. That's about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then they had the liner notes and a booklet, that type of stuff. But just
I'll be honest. I don't really jump on the reissue bandwagon.
Yeah.
too
Nor
much.
do I. Nope.
I know
Nope.
you don't want to hear a song redone or anything.
I
but-
don't want to hear the demo when he was in his Volkswagen in an alley in New York
I know you don't.
from 15 years before.
But it's
I
so
don't.
special, Jerry.
I don't.
It's
No,
special to hear
To
that.
get in the
guys
mind
know I
of the
love-
artist.
I don't want to go there. I don't want to go into my own mind. Much less some guy on an acoustic.
Uh-huh.
You guys know I love the Who, but anything reissue with demos
Yeah.
or I don't want to hear. That's why not to completely go off track, but this Gene Simmons vault stuff, I want no part of it.
And for
Hey,
$2,000.
here's what I was thinking when I came up with this song 18 years later.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't want to hear demos. I don't want to hear acoustic versions. I don't want to hear. I
Well,
want to hear the album I bought,
Yeah.
which is what I like.
And I think we've talked about it before. Why would you have
Yes,
that
we
stuff
have.
laying around if you would have released it if it was that good? You
Right.
didn't bother
Well,
to
they-
release it. Why are you holding on to it for 20 years?
Because they know they can tag it on to a re-release, that digital re-recorded or whatever, digitally mastered plus extra tunes, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I want the original, and that's it. I don't need 3 extra songs that were done live at wherever. I want the
Ah.
original. If you digitally remaster it, I'll take it. But if
Yeah.
you digitally remaster it and add 4 songs on it, I don't want to hear it.
I often like B-sides. I'm a fan of B-sides. I don't
Same
want to hear
here.
the stuff that didn't make the cut because it tells you where the band's at, because you hear their good stuff and then they throw out this B-side stuff and you understand, oh, they made a good choice.
Yeah. I understand
You've,
why it's a B-side.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
we've
exactly.
talked about this before. Elton John,
Mhm.
always good for releasing extra tracks
Yeah.
as B-sides
Right.
from sessions.
I remember I had Island Girl on a 45 by Elton John,
Mm-hmm.
and the B-side was Sugar on the Floor,
Ah,
for
There
what
it
it's
is.
worth.
very good. I don't think I had that 45.
Island
Okay.
Girl.
British Steel, Judas Priest, 1980, I think. What
Job,
an
Jim.
album. Yeah.
What an album!
Yeah, that was a game
Job.
changer for a lot of us. Really
Mhm.
was. Because their albums before that were hard but not heavy.
Well, to
You
me,
know.
you heard Green Manalishi live, and that kind of, I recall that kind of sparked
Yes.
my interest.
Unleashed
then
in the
British-
East is what really.
Unleashed in the East, thank you, Frank.
Yeah.
And then British Steel hit. Oh,
yeah, that
oh yeah,
that got me on the wagon.
Mhm.
yes,
Was Unleashed in the East, and then
yes.
we were just. I remember Frank and I just waiting for the day when British Steel was going to
yeah.
come out, man.
Yes.
And so excited for that release, and it didn't disappoint.
No.
No.
And
Mm-mm.
I was just reading an article the other day, and Kerry King was talking about him and somebody else, some other metalhead that he used to hang out with. And he says, oh, yeah, we dug Judas Priest. We really liked their poppy stuff, like Breaking the Law, And I'm thinking,
Poppy?
Poppy, I never thought it was a pop song, but compared to some of the other metal that they did, it was pretty light.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Living After Midnight,
Yeah.
It was
fairly
lighter.
poppy
Yeah.
tune.
Well, that was a radio-friendly song all the way through.
Yes, it
Oh,
was.
sure.
Yeah. But
Great
At
solo.
some point, you got to pay the bills.
that's right.
Right.
Yep, I agree. I like that. I like that pick, Jim. So next episode,
Great pick, Jim.
yes.
Thank you.
And then after that, maybe when it comes my pick, maybe we'll try something a little different. We'll come up with a new way to pick an album and a song or something. We'll come up, got to mix it up a little bit. What do you guys
sounds
think?
good.
Sounds groovy.
All right, digging your backdrop there, Jerry. Very good.
Absolutely.
God bless America.
God bless.
And to all the
America.
Poland service people, thank you, because
Yes.
it gives us a chance to do what we're doing here.
Yep,
So thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
And Jim, your backdrop is looking quite sporty as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's in that fridge?
Yeah, we are all wanting to know what's
We'll
in
probably
Jim's
find
fridge.
out. Hopefully we'll find out next episode.
All right.
Ooh.
A lot of emails have come in. What's in Jim's
Oh yeah.
fridge?
What the heck
Jim's
is
fridge?
in Jim's
Well,
fridge?
we'll find out.
All right, guys. Well, if that's it, there's nothing else.
Shop
Keep
is
rocking,
closed.
folks. Keep rocking.
It's closed. Goodbye.
the Dirty Picture CD, which featured the Peekabooby packaging. This was a limited edition release, and you had various choices for which the boobs that you wanted to display in the little window there on the front of the package. But you also had a full fold out that kind of told a picture in stories, a story in pictures, I should say. And you had the kind of clever, you had a pull out thing with all the lyrics. And we also had our CD had it looked like a 45. So it's kind of old school. You can even see kind of had grooves there. And kind of went retro with the whole cheetah and typeface and all that kind of thing.